It's honestly quite funny watching these Bitcoin maxis continue to push the Bitcoin narrative when they are completely blinded at what's going on behind the scenes. I recently made a video talking about this, and in this video, I have 100% proof that Bitcoin is one of the biggest distractions, and you should be looking beyond the Bitcoin curtain. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. If we take a quick look at this video that Black Swan Capitalist posted the other day, we have former Goldman Sachs executive says central banks are dragging the dollar just long enough to bring in a new system that consolidates all the world's money. It's obvious this is about Ripple and XRP. It's technically about all of the utility projects in the space that do have real world application tied to them, while Bitcoin is marketed to the masses as a distraction. Check this out.
For many decades, the dollar has been the reserve currency, and the system is what I would describe as long in the tooth. And the central bankers are trying to bring in a new system, but it's not ready to go yet. And we're in a period of great change and uncertainty where the central bankers are trying to keep the dollar system going and accelerate. So they're trying to lengthen the dollar system, and then they're trying to accelerate bringing in the new system. So I describe the new system as the end of currencies. So we're not bringing in a new currency. We're essentially bringing in a new transaction system that will be all digital and essentially end currencies as we know them. So what they're trying to do involves essentially all the money on the planet. So it's big, it's complicated, it's messy for many decades.
And, you know, this is something that I have been addressing for a little bit of time. I told you guys about the CBDC move. We are going into a completely different system. And this is exactly why when I say that we are about to witness one of the largest resets in history, this is why. Money itself is about to change. And it's not about Bitcoin. Everyone that is so heavily focused on Bitcoin is missing the big target. Bitcoin has been a gateway to these other projects that so many people want to avoid because they don't believe in them. The maxi cult around Bitcoin is ridiculous. But also over here, remember this goes back to September of last year. Bitcoin is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption that is coming to financial services. This is Franklin Templeton President and CEO, Jenny Johnson. Check it out.
Bitcoin is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption that is coming to financial services. I think AI is probably the other big disruption there, but and there's so much noise around a lot of things like FTX and others. But if you bring the technology down to its core value, it does three things. One is it allows a payment mechanism. Number two, it allows smart contracts to be programmed into the token. And three, because it's a general ledger, it has a source of truth. So whoever has that token, all rights in that token are granted to that person. So if I sell it to Frank, I don't have to go through a third party to do it. Frank gets it, and Frank gets all the rights. So my favorite example is Rihanna, who came out with, right before the Super Bowl, and I know she's just testing the market in this, 300 NFTs, each one worth 0.00033% royalties on one of her biggest songs. Well, why can she do that? She can do it because when Spotify plays a Rihanna song, it can capture, the smart contract executes and says, I owe royalties here. And so nobody has to be involved in it. And it can take the fractional payment and go to, because Frank's a big Rihanna fan, so it goes to his account, and he owns a couple of those. and he's paid, right? So now think about any way in which you have revenue streams or royalty streams that you can now start to fractionalize that or democratize that, and think about how that is an uncorrelated asset to all the traditional assets. So other examples is, I think that athletes are they'll sign a big contract, they'll say to their fans, I'm going to sell off, tokens worth 10% of my future revenue stream, I'm going to, 100,000 tokens, and boom, the fans are going to probably pay a premium for it. So it will be a way, and if you think about it, it's just securitization done on steroids. And it's merely that this technology is enabling it, and it's also enabling other very interesting companies that will disrupt some of the traditional business models that we have today.
And this is exactly why I say this is much bigger than Bitcoin. Why? Well, because Bitcoin is not, it's not capable of handling anything at scale. Nothing at scale, which means tokenization or anything of value that's coming, meaning CBDC, stablecoins, the changing of money, all of these great financial use cases, Bitcoin can't handle it. Ethereum can't handle it. So we look at what's actually going to be there. What's going to be bigger than Bitcoin? What's going to be bigger than Ethereum? It's not just going to be XRP. It's going to be HBAR. It's going to be QNT. It's going to be XLM, XDC, Casper. So many of these great projects that can actually handle scale, that actually have real world application tied to it. And not this speculative store of value narrative that's been pushed by maxis just to give it some type of utility. I said over here, and I did include this in the video, most of the space is being manipulated by the largest TradFi players in the world. The biggest distraction in the space are institutions and enterprises using Ethereum or pushing Bitcoin to the public. They are antiquated technology and will cease to provide any value to scalable use cases. The future will be built on much more efficient rails. Everyone is looking at what BlackRock is doing, but not listening to what they are saying. They told you the plan. Larry Fink told you the plan. Tokenization. The tokenized economy can't and won't thrive using Ethereum, and don't even mention Bitcoin. And I said this because of, the lack of scalability here, which Smokedog did put out. It's confirmed with documents, guys. Bitcoin and Ethereum are just not scalable here. They're unsuitable as payment instruments for most DLT use cases due to their high volatility and low scalability. And then over here, Mr. Burles says that Ripple developed its technology with scalability in mind. To deploy something for Standard Chartered, Santander, or Bank of America, it needs to scale to hundreds of thousands of transactions per second. Even over here, works with more than 100 banks, unlimited scalability. It's designed to improve existing payment technologies by accelerating exchange operations and facilitating the trade of low liquid assets. Outside of this, Bitcoin and Ethereum prices are manipulated. August 2024 from the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia. Beneath the cryptocurrency, the hidden effect of crypto whales. Cryptocurrency markets, particularly for Ethereum and Bitcoin, are significantly influenced by market manipulation, creating a stark contrast between large sophisticated investors, whales, and smaller retail investors. In the case of Ethereum, large holders tend to increase their positions before price rises, benefiting from positive returns, while smaller holders often sell prematurely out on gains or incurring losses. Additionally, the volatility in ETH returns is largely driven by the actions of small retail investors, not the whales. Retail hype and speculation is what primarily drives the price of Ethereum, and large ETH holders capitalize from these moves every time they occur. For Bitcoin, research has shown that during the 2017 cryptocurrency boom, the stablecoin Tether was used by market manipulators to inflate Bitcoin prices, driving its value to nearly $20,000. This manipulation was not due to genuine demand for USDT, but rather a coordinated effort to artificially boost Bitcoin's price, as documented below from a recent and credible source for the trolls in the back. Can't refute hard evidence like this. And yes, this is from the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, August 2024. This is talking about the manipulation happening around Ethereum and also Bitcoin. This is crazy. Now, also over here, the volume of Tether in circulation and the price of Bitcoin. You can see it. You can see how it is artificially pumping Bitcoin. Tether fed the Bitcoin bubble. It's an artificial increase in supply. The increase in the volume of Tether in circulation would thus have reflected price manipulation and not as would be expected in the normal operation of a SC, smart contracts, increase investor demand. So as we think about what's going on here, this is very, very interesting. Now, also over here, we see a detected bubble in Bitcoin and Ethereum while no bubble was detected in XRP. He explains that the reason why no bubble exists in Ripple stems from technological superiority of Ripple over Bitcoin. So XRP was superior to Bitcoin and even Ethereum technically at that time. Now also over here, we have making a Ripple XRP cryptocurrencies participating in the ISO payment ecosystem for international transactions. This is June 2022. Until recently, the ISO payment system precluded cryptocurrencies from participating. The release of the digital token identifier standard transformed that, allowing cryptocurrencies to be recognized as legitimate currency under the ISO system. Cryptocurrencies accepted into the ISO payment system will gain the ability to be utilized in international transactions between financial institutions. As a result, ISO recognized cryptocurrencies will achieve higher trading volumes, a historical problem preventing cryptocurrencies from gaining widespread acceptance. Therefore, cryptocurrencies that participate in the ISO system will emerge from the cryptocurrency bubble victorious, which means those ISO projects are still a big focus, and they're still confirming that there is a cryptocurrency bubble. It's very clear. And Bitcoin and Ethereum will probably not make it out, which means what rises after? And by the way, we have from Whitney Webb, the biggest banks and a cadre of spooky currency speculators have funded and now control most of the infrastructure underlying Bitcoin, energy, chips, ISPs, plus general crypto infrastructure, with the openly stated goal of having it be only an asset you don't and can't spend. The US government and the small elite faction hold most of the Bitcoin, and once their financial control grid is complete, inflate its price through the roof. As Catherine Austin Fitts has said of the elite's plans, once you steal everything, you want to move to a deflationary system. These elites, who have a lot of ties to the Epstein network, hold so much Bitcoin collectively, and when currencies implode, which is something the currency speculators who back so much key crypto infrastructure have provably done in the past, pumping gold and silver, etc., instead would make too many other actors, including other governments like China and Russia, very wealthy, while pumping Bitcoin will make only a specific, largely US-based cabal very wealthy. When they collapse currencies, they will buy up everything like they didn't manage to buy, or that they didn't manage to buy up during COVID, and then install their new and beyond Orwellian financial surveillance grid in place using Bitcoin as a reserve asset. The US government, Silicon Valley, and Wall Street bankers who have economically and sometimes militarily waged war against much of the world are using Bitcoin for this and are buying up media influence to manufacture consent. As a consequence of the purchase of Bitcoin media, most Bitcoiners, instead of being up in arms about it and putting momentum behind any potential workaround, are spending time shilling Tether and explaining away their overt partnership with the US national security state, shills for dollarized debt posing as anti-state and anti-bank. And here we have, right, a video. Now, this is very, very interesting. I want to play this video, but first, I also want to share with you guys this top 13 Bitcoin holders list, because what she is saying here, talking about the US cabal, the elites, look at all of the top holders. The US government, BlackRock, IBIT, Fidelity, Grayscale, MicroStrategy, Kraken, Block One, Robinhood. These are all US-based players. Guys, the US government is the largest holder of Bitcoin, by far. Now check this out. Marathon CEO, Fred Thiel, Bitcoin as an asset class is the perfect asset. And as soon the banks in the US are able to custody and collateralize Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin will explode. Check this out.
There are only 21 million Bitcoin. There never will be more Bitcoin. When people want to acquire something, it has to go up in price, just like when an artist dies, right? People pay $3 million for some spray paint on bricks in a place in London because Banksy says he did it, right? So don't give me a story about there's no value to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is valuable because people believe it's valuable. That's the only reason the dollar has value. It's because everybody in this room thinks the dollar has value. Bitcoin as an asset class is the perfect asset. It's hard money. And that's something I believe you'll see countries hold Bitcoin. You'll see more and more companies like Mara, like MicroStrategy, like lots of other companies hold Bitcoin. You'll see financial institutions hold Bitcoin. And as soon as the banks in the US are able to custody and collateralize Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin will explode.
Now, let me ask you all this. If you were a Bitcoin maxi, would you be celebrating this? If we're really talking about the original view of Bitcoin, why would this even be celebrated? This is a great post to this. We have, so the same cabal which demonetized silver and gold into mere reserve assets that just sit in vaults and was used as the basis for printing vast amounts of fiat, that same cabal is saying that Bitcoin is perfect for them, and you don't so much as raise an eyebrow, sold your soul. Because they control this now. They have control over Bitcoin. The ETFs was clear. But the thing is that before Bitcoin actually explodes, before they have this plan in place, they are going to make sure that only those that they want wealthy will get wealthy off of this. But it's not Bitcoin. It's not about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is controlled by the elite now. BlackRock is a crucial one to focus on. The thing to focus on with this entire move is where this is headed. Bitcoin is a distraction away from those that are actually going to be valuable. I do believe that this is going to be potentially a rug pull. I've said it many times in the past. As we look at the bubble around this, even though, yes, they are telling you this, they're telling people what they want them to hear. Everyone is so excited about this. Oh, it's going to explode in value. Everyone, we need to get very bullish about this. It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you right now, Bitcoin maxis will cling to anything at this point if it means that it's going to pump the price higher. They're going to give up all of the control. They're going to manipulate it. They are going to shake as many weak hands out as possible. And then the real plan goes live, where Bitcoin and Ethereum are not even a part of this, because this is exactly what they know Bitcoin maxis want to hear. We know what the real currency will be. We know what the real value is. It's not Bitcoin. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on for more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.